his stuff. I was late to the game though, because when he was in Style Council, there was music that I wasn't into at that age, and I rediscovered the Style Council. 20 years later, I guess.
Well, what were you, like 2? Seriously?
No.
You must
I'm
have been
45, bro.
And we're live.
I see what you've done.
Yeah, wow. Well, I was about to go on a full rant and give Legion an absolute mouthful then, but hi everyone.
But back on point. Let's finish this before we go. Well, how old are you?
45.
45. So when Style Council came out, which would be 1982.
Yeah, I'd have been 7.
You were like 7. Okay.
Yeah, I was well in.
Which is closer to 2 than 45.
Yes.
You were tiny when that happened.
Yeah, but I started music very young, so from when I had motor skills, and basically my parents taught me how to operate the phonograph. Then absolutely, I was playing records as early as I can remember. That was my me time. Records, my grandfather's record collection. Yeah.
To be fair, though, for a 7-year-old, the Style Council is not. It's not the entree to the Weller world that you want.
No, sir. Yeah. Why do they look like? Why do they look androgynous? Explain that to me, Mum. Yeah.
It's all this pseudo French jazz and coffee shop hipster thing that was going on.
Yeah.
I kind of preferred what he was doing before that. It was a little bit more angry.
Yeah. The Jam was absolutely an innovator, and it's funny when all these people who are into punk and you say the Jam, and they're like, who?
See, well, that's the thing. There's a line. There's those that go from a point earlier, and so they see the broad spectrum of everything that was like in that field, and then there are those that come after that have a much more rigid definition of what punk or the punk scene was. I mean, the Jam, they may be the originators of the mod revival, but they were also part of that whole punk growth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what allowed them to play, to have venues, to gather an audience, and just ply their craft.
Yeah. That was an interesting segue conversation there. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, talking about music and stuff, but it's a vape show apparently.
If you guys didn't know, this is a continuation of a conversation they were having on the Omies where Bruce Holmes just was. He's doing double dad duty today, and he was over there, and they were talking about his music choices. But yeah, if you guys didn't catch it, you guys should have caught that. Otherwise, welcome to Amigos Monday. All right, see you guys next Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you see, we got the full house tonight. We got Burritos Tones, we got Mr. Legion Vapes, and unfortunately, you've got me. And I've uploaded some gifts to the thing, so you guys will be excited for that tonight. But otherwise, let's get to the buffet. We've already started this shit hot. Let's go ahead and start Adam again. So let's get everyone going with what he already said he had an hour ago.
Yeah, I'm still vaping the same thing that I had an hour ago. It's unbelievable. I know. K-Fun 2019 Light Edition Swag 2. That has a little Eric Vinyl and Vapors PB party in there. So I'm having a PB party all up in my face hole. I have the Unicorn Vert Slate Edition Palmer's Powders with the Dead Goat. Dead Goat. I've basically set this up after not touching it for a year, and that is seriously what I've used the most in the last 5 or 6 days. I forgot how good that Addy is. That has the Frankenatikus, very, very nice Australian e-liquid manufacturer. That is the Berry Jam Danish, and tasting very, very good. El Thunder 21700 with the Passage. That has in it also another very good Australian e-liquid company, Affinity Creations, a little Rice Krispie situation. It's very, very good, and awesome to see many people breaking into the e-liquid manufacturer, made by a PhD med science student. Well, she's probably not a student anymore. I don't want to discount her education, but mine.
She's not. Her dissertation was accepted. She's done. She is a proper doctor now.
Yeah.
And she's working for the enemy, but she's our mole on the inside of farming. But I mean, she's making some pretty good juice. And if everything works out, I still haven't nailed her down, but this coming Sunday she should be on the Aussie Vape Show.
Ooh.
Nice.
And see, now I get to go and tell her that I've already announced it, so she has to do it no matter what.
Ha! Awesome.
She's been very shy. We've been talking for the last couple of weeks about getting her on, and she wanted to let bigger people go first. I'm like, that's not what this is about. There's specific things I want to talk to her about on the show, and I actually think that before we get Colin on, it would be good to have her on, sort of like set the groundwork for the following week. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Nice.
Sorry to interrupt. Were you in the middle?
That's it. I have 3 devices, and that's it. Yeah.
It must be this time of year. Like, normally we have these massive buffets, and I've just gone dead simple today as well. Just jumping in here, but yeah, we got the Odin with the Ragnar on top. Nice solid setup. Good weighty thing. Anyone breaks into the house, I just whack them over the head with this, and it'll be job done because this weighs a ton. But in there, yeah, also got some Frank and Atticus. Will focus. That is the peppermint and white chocolate cookie, which I keep saying is mocha, but no, it's not mocha. It's cookie. Lovely juice. And I've said it before, but just take a look at that branding. Like that just stands out to me.
Yeah.
This is just quality adult branding. That is not for kids. It's not childish. It's not cheap looking. It is good quality branding. I appreciate that. Speaking of branding, good quality branding, this thing is not so much. I like the device, but man, that's just cheesy.
You don't like that? I think it's
like
all right.
skulls. I love skulls, but I just think that just looks like the crap that you'd buy in head shops in the 80s, you know?
You can still get it there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I like it. I'm always stoned when I see it.
This is my other setup, the MV2 from Dovepo. It is a good solid PWM, even though I don't like the panels. On the top, I've got the Troll version 2, the 24mm version. This was sent to me from David Mottram all the way in the UK. He heard me talking about my original Troll, which was the first RDA I built on, and I loved to death. And I had always wished that they'd made a bigger one. Well, apparently they did. He found it. He sent it to me. Been kicking this for the last week or two, and yeah, it's weird. I'm vaping sort of a retro style machine, a retro RDA. I've got sort of a retro, something I've been vaping for ages in here, and it tastes retro. I don't know what it is. There's a different airflow. I mean, I got no. Hold on a sec.
He forgot.
Yes, they are Breestone's coils in there.
That's why it's so good.
Okay.
Because I'm old. That's why it tastes retro.
I literally can't remember if they are or if I tried someone else's. I have someone else's clothes to try. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm cheating on you. But yeah, someone else sent me some clothes. I actually think they're Mystic Oils. My apologies. Breestone's in here, Mystic Oils in here, and this tastes old school. Like, I vape this constantly. I haven't never stopped vaping it since I got it. I always make sure I have a bottle or two in stock, and I know what it tastes like. But this tastes like 2017 to me.
Maybe it's you wicking. I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know. It's the airflow. It's the metal that the tank is made out of. It just tastes like I used to do a lot of Anarchist, a lot of Limitless, just about anything that tasted like Krispy Kremes or Twinkies or all that sort of like old school juice they used to have a ton of. And there's just a certain undertone that all those flavors had, and it's coming back in this. And I'm starting to realize, wow, that wasn't the juice. That was the RDAs that were coming out then. That's what made them taste like that.
Yeah. Mr. Vandal, what do you got going on, brah?
Oh man, I mixed it up so hard. I got Dwayne's own boy OC Mango in here, and the top side with the goat, and that's it. But he was sliding in my DMs this weekend. I might get some of that sour heads from him, but I don't know what I have to give him for it. So we're gonna figure that out. So I'll get that this week.
Nice, man. I've been hearing very, very good things about it.
He told me that was gonna be the one that'll, cause like Anarchist Pink's my favorite top juice. He said he'll dethrone it, so we'll find out.
Oh,
I watched Grim try that, and he was saying, peach, peach, peach. It's got peach. I think it's got peach in it. I think there's peach. Does this taste like peach? I'm not sure what's in here, but I'm detecting peach. Is that lemonade? I think it's a lemonade with a peach. So I'm assuming it's a peach lemonade. So
Yeah.
it would be really, really interesting how that compares to a liquid for vaping, which is one of my favorite peach lemonades.
I'm not a big fan
Yeah,
of peach, but we'll see. And so like I trust him though because he's the one that made most of the Anarchist line, and he created Pink, so that was the one to get me off. So we'll see. But I'll probably have that next week to talk about. But otherwise, yeah, that's it. I ain't got nothing interesting going on. I haven't even got my pods. I used them all.
you used them all.
Yeah. So I kind of have a problem now where I get the pods and then I'll vape them all within like 3 days. And I buy like 20 of them at a time. And so I kind of have like this low like pneumonia going on right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the face of the youth epidemic, right there.
Low key pneumonia.
Yeah, man. I gotta do the pods all the time now. I got an RGB setup with the lights and everything. I wear the backwards hat. I got tattoos. You can see it now. Of course, I gotta be hitting pods, man. I'm trying to get that Instagram fame.
Yeah.
Just trying to do it.
So, but how long? Like if you weren't destroying them, how long would one of those last? Like
When I first got them, I was easy on them, because I wasn't really into them. Trying them out. It lasts about 4 days, and that's maybe like a good 20 toots, as Bruce Tones would put it, a day.
Yeah.
So
I think it was just getting back onto the number of toots. Simon Chapman wrote an article many years ago, or not many years ago, but he was talking about numbers of toots, and I instantly was like, "There's no way that I would vape something 200 times a day. Like that just sounds out of control." And then I did the numbers and tested myself, and I was easily at 200 a day, and I was like, "Okay, maybe."
yeah.
The question is, did Chapman actually use the phrase toots?
No, I don't believe he used that. That's a shop term.
Yeah. I just want to see Chapman walking around in one of those old school T-shirts, #toot life.
Yeah. Toot life.
I don't think we'll be saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I've never been a big fan of puff counters on. I just never really used a puff counter on a device, but it's interesting when you do have a bit of a squeeze and see how many times you hit it a day.
When I first started, I did, but that was a real newbie.
Can I just interject for a second? Just this has just caught my eye, and I just gotta say this. Mowgli Vapes has been in our channel, in our chat for donkey's years, and he's over on my channel. He's in the chat. He's on my Facebook page. I mean, he's a solid dude, right? And he's given away his age there. He said that he heard something in '68 when he was 7, so he's a little bit older than me. And the breadth of the man's music knowledge and taste is astounding. I know I have eclectic and wide tastes, but I doubt that I could throw out much that he hasn't heard of and isn't intimately familiar with. This is a man that will be happy to put out the Stones, Led Zeppelin, but he's talking about Gangrene, Voices Carry, the cover of Till Tuesday, which is an awesome but really obscure little cover version. And yeah, I've seen him put up like post music on Facebook that's just like right in my wheelhouse, but just obscure for the average person. So I don't know what I want to say. What am I saying?
You were giving him a cheers, I guess.
Yeah.
Cheers! Shut up, man. You're
cheers
awesome.
to Mowgli.
Yeah, and I just love to see that open-minded breadth. Like I don't just like classic rock. I don't just like country. I'm not totally into punk. I'm into good music, and that's what I've always tried to define what I like by. I like what feels passionate and honest and good. I don't care what genre it's in. It's just got to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of music, not to ignore you guys totally, because we kind of been going off. The chat, you guys been throwing out some good shit right now. I know it started out as kind of a joke, but it kind of like Steve was saying, when Mowgli gets involved, it kind of got a little bit of class to it. But shout out to the chat, and then I'll go through and see who we got here real quick. We got Dennis Michael. He was here early. Shannon Brown, thanks for hanging out. I think this is the first time I've seen you around, so welcome to the crapshoot. RB Mark II, good to see you. We got Labworks. Oh, that sucks. Leona's vaping. No, what's up, Labworks? Leona's vaping. Mr. Jangles. Steve's Brones. Frames Janklin. I don't know if you're still here. What's up, man? Great one, Batsky. Duchess Coils. And the rest of you guys are hiding, but there's like 20 people in here, and there's like 5 people in the chat. Say something, or else you can't. Or else,
What's up, guys?
if you only come for the X ones, you're still gonna win it, but I won't like you as much. But anyway,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. So here we go. I've said before that we should probably try to steal something from the Omis. They play games on all the different shows that they're involved in. We should have a game. So just for this once, because you can only play this game once, Desert Island Discs. What are the 5 records that you cannot live without?
Damn. I know that I'm going to say the list today, that it will change probably by this afternoon. So as long as we play that with that asterisk, then I'm down for that. Yep, I'm down for that. All right.
You spoke.
I'm just going to. Yep, cool, done. All right. I can't remember the name of the album because I've been listening to it so much. Something by Cog, an Australian band from Sydney. Cog, maybe The New Normal or their later album, Super Unknown, Soundgarden, Core by Stone Temple Pilots, sometimes by City and Colour, and probably something by the Beastie Boys.
All right.
Yeah, that's my 5. Then they'll change. If you ask me again in 20 minutes, I'll give you a completely different list.
That's why music's awesome. It can do that to you.
Yeah.
Chris, you're on the spot.
I knew you were going to make me go. All right. I was trying to think of it. For hands down, all day, every day, even like to the day I die, every week I listen to it, except for when I was in boot camp or basic training for the Army. Chronic 2001, Dr. Dre. All day, every day. West Coast rap, all day. I would say the second album would be Daisy by Brand New. Real emo, real cut my wrist kind of stuff. But, you know, that's where you grew up in the 2000s. Unfortunately, I know if anyone here knows them, they're going to hate on it. It's going to be, oh, cool, my landscaper's calling me right now. It's going to be Limp Bizkit's hot dog flavored water. I don't care what anyone says. You like the music that you like.
I would never expected you to say that in any way, shape, or form.
It's like the tramp stamp of music. Everyone's got one. And then, what is that, 3? Fuck, man.
Yep.
Mean Everything to Nothing by, I was just listening to them. Now I'm on the spot. I can't remember their fucking names. Manchester Orchestra. 4. And then 5, I would have to say, you know what? The Greatest Hits by Garth Brooks. I don't like a lot of country, but I like Garth Brooks.
Ooh.
Frames will be very happy with you.
I will throw out my list, and at the risk of sounding incredibly pretentious, I want anyone who knows what I'm talking about to mention it in chat. If you know what I'm saying, mention it in chat. No means no, Mr. Wrong. Gang of 4, That's Entertainment. Sound Effects by The Jam. Mm-hmm. Definitely have to have some. The Jam has a specific place in my life. That's 3. Naked City by John Zorn, because I love jazz, but I specifically love jazz that goes off the rails into methamphetamine territory, and they're totally messed up. And whatever, I can't remember the name of it, whichever Led Zeppelin album has No Quarter on it, because I can't live without that song.
You could just say The Greatest Hits. The Greatest Hits Remastered has that on it.
No. It's got to be the one that's on the original pressing. That's the one.
Yep. Crazy.
And no Jethro Tull. Absolutely no Jethro Tull on my head.
Oh, you're going to trigger some people. Someone said Jethro Tull before.
Yeah.
The worst.
I'm not down with the Tull. No.
Worst part about it is like you'll see it in the chat. Like obviously, there's a lot of better choices than when you pick at the top of your head. You know, because like when you get put on the spot, it sucks. But of course, like there's good mentions in the chat. I want to point out like Tool is in there. I don't know if anyone said it now. That's coming to my head. I'm like, oh, Fleetwood Mac.
See, that's what I mean. Yep, there's like a million bands that would change on that list. Like if we asked again, do it again, you'd come up with a completely different one. Here's another one for you. If you would describe your personality as a pair of shoes, what are
they? Beaten up, worn, stinky, old Doc Martens.
That was very, very descriptive. Mr. Vandal?
You go ahead and tell yours. I have the shoes that I've bought the same pair of these shoes even after they've been discontinued for the last 10 years.
Always going to get them. Mine would be Nike Air Max 90s. That would be me. Air Max 90s. Okay. Yep. Pretty boring. I know.
You're saying you were made by child labor?
Yes, in a sweatshop. That is overpriced and underappreciated. Absolutely.
It's a Super. Oh, you can't even see shit in my fucking stuff.
Super? No way.
The Super Sky Tops, and then I always order them with the fucking red carpet on the inside because I'm a douchebag. But these are the most comfortable shoes I've ever had. I love them.
Nice.
And I fucked up.
So we've got 90s emo shoes, 80s innovative child labor shoes, and stinky, filthy UK shoes. Awesome.
Yeah, they're all leather, so I can't wear them in the summer unless you guys want to know what hot dog water smells like boiled.
Dude, I wear Doc Martens summer, winter, like literally have one pair of boots.
But my thing is, like, you look like you always smell like hot dogs.
No, I have no running shoes. I have one pair of boots and a pair of slippers.
Yeah.
That's it. I just wear my boots. When they die, I'll buy another pair. And I will just repeat that process until I'm dead.
When I was
You have no sneakers, Steve. You have no sneakers.
Why would I have sneakers? I have boots.
Wow.
I'm not sneaking any. I'm not playing basketball. I'm not trying to sneak up on anyone. I need boots.
I had a pair of Doc Martens when I was going through my goth phase, and like high school, and I tried so hard that I used to try to skateboard to school in them, and they were the blood red ones that zipped off at layers, and I think they were actually made for women.
Yeah, there's a reason why the punk movement in the States transitioned away from leather studs and Doc Marten boots into high tops and shorts and shirts like you're wearing. It's because you can't skate in boots. You just can't skate in boots. If you can, you look hella cool.
Yeah.
Like big leather jacket, boots on, but no.
It's very rare. That's the guy you see out there that's skating at 6 a.m. when no one else is out there.
There's a lot of
smoking and drinking a beer at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot in chat. Tim's, I guess those are Timberlands, right?
Yeah.
Ugg boots. The rest is music, but yeah, there's a few going on there.
Yeah.
Shannon Brown, Kiss had a big place in my heart, a big place in my life, but I do feel that I could happily live the rest of my life without actually hearing them. I mean, I do pull them up every now and then, but I wouldn't miss too much if I pulled them out. They've done their place in my life.
Would you feel like it's your party days?
No, it wasn't. Kiss weren't my party days. Kiss were my virgin. I've never actually had a beer yet. Really want to do all the life stuff that they're doing. Yeah.
Kiss is one of those bands for me that I know their music and they're so, like Kiss is Kiss, like you can tell when it's Kiss, but I wouldn't know any of their catalog, I literally don't know any of their music.
If it comes on, you know it, but I couldn't name it. I feel like, I don't know if you guys watch Family Guy when Lois was apparently sleeping with Gene Simmons or whatever, and they're at the concert. It's like, I want to rock all day, party all night, and then they put the microphone, and she's like, get good grades,
Indeed. Yeah.
I think. See, everyone's got their own opinion, but to me, Kiss were only valid until they took their makeup off, and on that day they became something else, and it's just You know, it's that early section that makes the difference. It's when they were bigger than life, almost cartoon. They were the epitome of ridiculousness, but just such broad appeal.
Yeah.
You know, and when they were doing that, it was awesome. I would have much rather seen them sort of disappear for 10 years and then come back. We're back and we're
refreshed.
They're kind of like Guar. They're like they're the proto Guar. They were cartoonish and silly and over the top with massive shows and simple but catchy songs. And they took their makeup off and they tried to be like more artist. And ever since then, I haven't really been that
they kind of went the Hollywood approach with music, like, oh, what do we appease to, instead of like making what we are good at, what we like.
Exactly.
And then there is a question in the chat from my twin sister Vapor Swaggins. Says, anyone own at any point in their life underwear from their favorite band? I'm gonna go ahead and start with a no.
Don't have underwear, but Johnny Toogood, I think his name is, from the band She Had from New Zealand, made polite conversation with me just so that he could ask me for my lighter, stole my lighter to go and smoke a joint, and didn't even offer for anyone else that was around. So a cheeky fucking rock star stole my lighter for a joint.
I want to be careful about answering this. No, I have no actual underwear from any band or artist. I have no underwear with Deadpool. I have no underwear with comic book characters. I have no underwear.
Speaking of which,
leave it at that.
Now, speaking of which, we were talking about this before the show. Legion was getting a good reprimand about it. So, you know, live streams. Do you wear pants or PJs? Come on, guys.
I wear pajamas.
You know what I mean?
Ever since lockdown, I've been wearing pajamas all the way through. Honestly, I'm not leaving the house. I get up, I wander around, I from the top up, I do my strolls. Why would I worry? I mean, I'm covered, I'm decent, but I'm comfortable.
Why would you get dressed up for this? It's just us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not like you can see anything from down here, you know?
Yeah. You can't see the good stuff. That's for Legion's Patreon.
Yeah.
That's the real Aussie show.
Below the desk cam.
Yeah. You got to join the encrypted Zoom room for that action. Yeah.
But yeah,
we should do that. We should all get under desk cams and set up a secondary stream simultaneous. So we have one with the Zoom room with the 3 top halves, and the other with the Zoom room with the 3 bottom halves.
Should we do it to where
not buying it.
We could have a game? Legion, that's a great idea. No. We could have a game with it, and then you match the top with the bottom. But Legion, you'd always be able to tell, I think.
I'm only saying that because when I set up the derp coil cam for last week's show, I was very conscious of actually getting my crotch in shot. So I was trying so hard not to do that. This camera was pointed straight down. Yeah. No one needs to see that.
You just had to hold a bottle of juice down there. It's all right. You're an influencer.
Mr. Where was it? Mr. Dripified Vapor. Yes, that is a Palmer's Powders powder-coated vert. It is very elegant. Thank you very much. But that is Mr. Palmer's work. He's very, very good. You need to check him out.
And so, real quick, not to like throw it off or anything, but this past weekend, I'm sure you guys here have seen him in the chat. Jason Toohey has passed away. He hang out with us on the channel all the time. He was an advocate in the community for the vape stuff. I found out through Steven Sard, which is also one of our amigos on here that helps us out with stuff. And so he's not here to share the info, but I'm going to toss this up here if you guys are able to. There's a GoFundMe for his family to help him take care of expenses with everything that's going on. And there's also, I'm going to try and get the link for it, a waffle. How do you guys say it? It's a raffle. I don't know how you guys say it. The waffle? Waffle. Yeah, I always I can't say normal words. Anyway, is going on for that with that you can donate to and win stuff too. Let me go ahead and see if I can get the link. All right, I can't get the link, but if you join us in our Amigos Facebook group, you can get the link for that. I can't figure this out right now, but there's a GoFundMe. If you guys can show some support. He was a great guy in the community. He was always making everyone laugh whenever I saw him in the chat and stuff like that. And so if you guys get a chance, please take a moment, look at that, or at least if you can share it. It would be very good for him and his family. So I'm really bad.
That's the waffle That's the waffle that's being done by Broken Home, isn't it?
Yes,
Mr.
by
Alex.
Broken Home. Yes, by Alex Broken
Yeah,
Home.
yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
some good stuff in there, and it also goes to a great cause. All the proceeds go to the family. And then I also believe that Squid, Eric, threw in, I have it right here. He threw in a mod as well. So it's a good cause. You guys can get something out of it, but it also helps his family. So if you guys can, at least like share it around. But want to give condolences to his family and all that. And I'm really bad at counseling, guys. I know I look awkward, so I apologize.
No, thanks for putting that out there.
It is always an awkward subject to broach when we lose someone, especially someone that's so active and good-hearted and known in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, Adam, I know it's been about a week but 2 weeks now. Your MTLs have been out, and have you gotten any feedback or anything, man? Anything you want to talk about on those?
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely sales have been going well in the US, which is really, really cool. And I picked up a couple of new, retail spots. That's the one thing about a distro is that it's not kosher to ask, who is stocking or purchasing, because that's not, information that one should ask. But I do know from, contact to me, which is really kind of cool, is that they're doing well. It's always that funny situation of, people see the specs on the coil, and I guess they're making up their decision on like looking at the specs. So a lot of people are buying them for, a use that possibly wasn't intended for an MTL tank, but it's not my place to say, and absolutely do what you want to do. But super stoked, and it's hard for me to verbalize, how appreciative I am of the support from the community in buying any of my coils, let alone, ones that that are new to the menu and everything. But I'm very, very happy. So it's always a bit of a slow thing. I think this whole any positive thing that's come out of this current year is that potentially the circle is coming back to rebuildables again. I mean, as hobbyists, it never went anywhere for us, I guess. But in the same vein, there's a lot more people out there that are potentially have gotten into building, which is really, really cool. So the only thing they're doing is raising their experience up by good coils and cotton and all that situation. So I'm really stoked for those getting into vaping who are doing that, because they can convenience is one thing, but also when you raise the experience like that, it's got to be really cool. Because I remember what it was like when I got into building. It was like, wow, this is so much more. It's really, really good. Yeah. So yeah.
Nice.
On a side note, I had a question I wanted to ask you on the Omis, and I thought I'd wait till now when we had a moment to actually get more in depth about it without taking away from the show. But we had some bad news this week, some negative press in Australia. Greg Hunt and the TGA have decided, and the health department have decided to withdraw support for teleconferencing and Medicare rebates in regards to nicotine prescriptions. They've also advised that we all see the same doctor for every single thing that we need to, which it's going to be great when someone has, say, Alzheimer's diagnosis, and should they just stick with their GP? No, they're going to go to a specialist. That's a whole different thing. But the whole cutting down the teleconferencing, now we know that there are only 8 people in Australia who are authorized to give the prescription. So if they can't teleconference, well, let's roll back. They can still teleconference and anyone can go to them, but by removing the Medicare rebate, it makes it cost prohibitive for those that aren't flush. So it really does, slow down the progress. It inhibits people from actually going forward with it. And I'm wondering, aside from the whole trying every single avenue to block us off aspect that Hunt's obviously been doing for the last little while, do you feel that some of that that this current action is somehow a reaction to what you and I and other advocates in Australia have been doing for the last couple of months, which is really pushing the awareness of the need for a prescription and that avenue to get it, of Athra standing up and saying, okay, here's our page with the doctors, they will all teleconference. Do you think that our efforts to assist the community have come to their attention, have motivated them to take this move.
I think that, because it's almost reactionary, isn't it? I mean, we were, as a community, we were able to put a stop to it, or, at least put a hold on things, but it just seems reactionary to me. I mean, in the same vein, how is it that this has been able to go on for, for a while now? Effectively, it's a Medicare, rebate. And I'm sure, because the first thing I did when I saw Colin's post about it yesterday was, just instant rage, because that's, a reactionary measure by the health department, because to obviously slow the situation. But again, like, there's no ever narrative of harm reduction in anything they do. And I know they don't need to give justification, but the justification that they gave, that, your one GP is the person that knows you the best. Like, what an absolute load of rubbish. That was why I made that comment on Colin's post about getting a second opinion. I mean, that's the first thing that any doctor says to you, is go and get a second opinion. So I can also put it into context. My son, Emily was taking him to a certain doctor, and I definitely have that, thought process of, if you don't get the diagnosis you want, like, people will try and find the right doctor to give them the diagnosis that they looked up on Google. Like, I don't agree with that always. But in the same vein, like, when something is wrong and your doctor won't help you, and you go to see a second doctor or for a second opinion, and then they're like, well, let's just look at this in a different way. Like, of course, that's what you're going to do. Not necessarily saying it's going to fix everything, but it's absolute rubbish. So, for the health department to come out and say that as the most flimsy, flimsy response is exactly. It's just like, okay, so this isn't a reactionary method. This is what you were thinking of the entire time. So now you're just making it even harder for people, because, what was $90 is now going to be $90 and not $50, so.
What they've said, the whole fragmented healthcare system concept, completely flies in the face of how the medical community actually works. The fundamental basis of modern medicine. Your GP is there to cover your sniffs, your cuts, your scrapes, a few minor stitches on bad occasions, and to refer you on to specialists when needed. They're the front line for little things, and they pass you to the bigger things. You go there and you say, I'm having dizziness and my eyesight's weird on one side, and they will get you to the neurologist, who will put you in to another doctor who will take your MRI, and there's a third doctor who's going to be looking at that MRI and going back. It's a team. It's a group effort to diagnose and treat any individual with anything serious. If you try to rely on one person, they're not going to know. They're not going to specialize in anything. GPs are not specialists. They're general practitioners. They don't know about addiction. They don't know about multiple sclerosis. My wife has it, and I still can't say that word. Multiple sclerosis. MS. Yeah. Or Parkinson's, or diabetes. Well, I guess your practitioner does know a bit about diabetes. But yeah, you get my point. I mean, this is how the medical practice or industry works.
They push you to someone that knows better than them.
Fractured or fragmented. It is a broad base. It's a broad support system, not just a single point. For the head of the Department of Health to make a statement that flies so in the face of that, I'm surprised that the doctors themselves haven't stood up and said, look, we can't let this stand. It's nothing to do with nicotine. It's nothing to do with vaping, but that's not how medicine works.
I think there's a big disadvantage too with every government, that there's no really anybody that specializes with, like, I would say, like, I guess, I don't know what to call it. I don't want to call it a substance, but like stuff like nicotine or caffeine that specifically does those things as a reference to, like, teaching people how it goes, because that leaves a whole broad spectrum of space. Yeah, as you see right there, that's the guy making your decisions over there in Australia. He can't even put on a mask.
It's just the best. I just wanted to show that as some, extra,
Would you not practice?
I wish you would have sent me that. I would have had it for the show. You need to send me that so I can put it on the gifts for the show.
Yeah, done. Also, vape advocacy, which is my beautiful wife Emily. Emily needed effectively hearing aids for her tinnitus, and the doctor that she was going to, and she'll probably correct me if I'm wrong here, but wouldn't help with getting a referral. So then she has to go about it herself, and it's just like, okay, so what, you're blocking me to go and work on this problem like that? GPs are not God, and they're not, they don't have the answers for everything. So it's.
I've said this before in multiple streams. There's an issue with GPs in that you come out of school and you know the latest greatest information, you know everything as the current state of the art, and then you go into practice and you are dealing with aches and scrapes and cuts and bones and things, and you're dealing with your paperwork, and you're dealing with your budgeting, and maybe you've got to deal, if you're running your own practice, you've got stock that you've got to bring in because there's always little sundries that got to be dealt with, and payroll for your receptionist and the janitor. There's so much to deal with. At the end of the night, you are having a beer, watching TV. You're not going through this week's latest news, this week's latest papers and research. So as time progresses, a GP becomes further and further detached from the cutting edge, what is known, what is new, what is being discovered, what things have been thrown out. We thought it was this way, but that doesn't work anymore. We find it's much better to go in this angle with these kind of treatments. They're not aware of those things. So if you go to your doctor, and it's not all of them, but a lot of them, I'm not putting them down either, they are incredibly overworked. If you go to them and your doctor's 55 or 58, and you say nicotine, of course he's going to spit out, or she's going to spit out, the kind of rhetoric, the kind of misinformation that came out about smoking 20 or 30 years ago. They're not on top of what's going on. If they are lightly dipping into it, they probably, like most people, just read the headlines. This is where you get doctors saying, "Oh yeah, that stuff's bad for you. We don't know what's in there. There's not been enough time," because in their mind, they're really, really busy. This is just a new thing that's popped up.
Yeah.
They haven't seen all those studies because they're just too busy to get into it. So much for them to do. This is not their area of specialty.
Yeah.
This is why you need to have the ability to go to a doctor that specializes in your disability, your issue, whatever it is. In our case, a doctor like Dr. Colin Mendelsohn, who specializes in addiction, who specializes in smoking relapse and studies. He's on top of all that.
Yeah.
A lot of doctors
Anyway.
seem like they just want problems to end instead of figuring out ways to get through them.
No, medicine works, right? Yeah.
So I have an issue with this because I'm a big proponent of science. I believe in medicine. I believe in modern medicine. I thoroughly agree with Tim Minchin. He said, you know what they call alternative medicine that's been proven to work? Medicine. I completely agree with that. I'm absolutely down with science, and I love the amount of work that goes into studying and researching and improving our lives. It's the bureaucratic jungle that sits on top of that between them and us that I have issues with.
Yeah. Another situation of, I've repeated this before, but I just had an eye test this weekend for new glasses, and same again, the optometrist, looking at my macula and all that sort of thing. And I don't know, this is just a unique situation for myself, but we were discussing the condition of my macula and everything is okay. And I was like, things are okay. I'm at 45 and I'm heading into that zone of not problems, but I'm just at that age where things, start to change. And I said, I was a smoker for over 20 years, and she was like, oh, okay. I was just waiting for her to say, oh, I've seen damage from your smoking or anything like that. And, it just goes to show you that, because I was inspired by Shannon Brown saying they're having a CT scan done in August and getting a copy so I can use it as proof of my vaping. That's just another situation. Is an amazing thing. I mean, the body is an amazing thing, but it's not in everybody's case, I guess. But in the same vein, these practitioners need to know. They need to know what we're doing and that we're educated about our decisions and what's going on. So talking to your nurse, talking to your doctor, talking to your family about it, all that whole situation. Just keep coming back to that same message. You've got to get other people outside of our echo chamber involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we are about to hit the last 15-14 minutes. And so I said we're going to do a giveaway. I have something. It's not really special, but I'll say it's special because it's different. I'm going to do a two-parter giveaway. Not two giveaways. It's two things. So we're going to give away one of these Desire Design mods. It's the white one or whatever, blah, blah. I hate Desire Design, but I'm giving it to you. And it's 21700. And since it's summertime, if you're in the States, it'll benefit you. If you guys are in Australia or anywhere else, I'm sorry. But I also got this Asmodus neckerchief that you freeze and you put it in the freezer. And then you get it wet first, sorry. You put it in the freezer, then you wear it, and you look all cool with your neck sweating a bunch of water down it, but you stay cool. So we'll give this away.
Nice.
So if you're in the States, it'll benefit you. If not, if you guys somewhere else, you'll see it next summer. But start putting your X ones in the chat, guys.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for the giveaways, Mr. Vandal.
Oh, some of them I bought. This one is actually the Desire one, and I was a personal purchase, but this one was donated by, I forgot a show moment, Local Vape, Erica at Local Vape. If you guys are new to the channel, she supports our channel by giving us stuff and also gives us the code, which we always forget to tell you guys, Amigos20. But yeah, so this is from Erica. Shout out to Erica at Local Vape. And then this is from like whatever we got from Stash Stuff. Anyways, we didn't do it, but make sure you guys, if you guys buy from localvape.com, where you can get new breeze tones, coils, MTLs, Legion mayonnaise, and everything under the sun, you can use the code Amigos20 and get 20% off your whole order.
Yeah. Very, very, very grateful for the Local Vape family. And this.
I'm gonna have to get with some juice maker and design a juice, some creamy custard, light, fluffy flavor. It's gonna have to be Legion's mayonnaise.
I'm gonna be so ignorant and say it's got to be peppermint because you're ginger. You know what would be good? Like, you ever try the candy hot tamales?
I love those. They're
Yeah.
so crap. They're awful, but I love them. My problem is that a box is literally 2 mouthfuls for me.
I got a big bag of the Mike and
you
Ike's.
did when you were 6. You just dump half a box in there.
Trying to chew it like
you
gum.
can't swallow it. It's too much, and it's all that. What is that? It's like a paraffin wax.
Yeah, the wax that's around it, the sugared wax, it's all on your lips and everything.
Yeah. And they're so much better than Mike and Ike's. Mike and Ike's are just fruit crap.
I bought Mike and Ike's thinking they'd be good. I bought like that family bag I was at the grocery store the other day. And don't get me wrong, I get stoned and I'll put a handful in my mouth. I'm just like, man, like 4 of these flavors are crap. They're just not good. They're not that good.
Wow. Like Mowgli Vapes in between all the X ones, he just wrote, "Da fuck." Oh, it's so good.
See, here's the thing. I got to tell you guys. I see what you did there, man. Adam didn't.
No.
See, I got my show that I talk to people and I say we can talk about anything, and for some reason it always comes back to vape. What do you think of this? What's coming up and stuff? I have my new show. I have the Aussie Vape Show. Of course, it's all vape. This is the show where we can talk for like 20 minutes about cherry pies and Mike and Ike's and the jam, and half the show can be just like random crap. But I love that. I love that we are so random. This is the one place of the week where it just, I never know what to expect or where we're gonna go or what we're gonna talk about.
Sometimes I host and I don't know where it goes. We love you too.
It's a segue to life. That's the most prophetic thing I've said all day.
I sat with the wife the other day. She's like, I've only got 10 minutes. I got to do this thing, but I want to tell you about this news story. And she tells me, and we start discussing back and forth the ramifications, which led to something about the news structure and the history of news, which led into media manipulation, which led into something else. And 45 minutes later, I'm like, what the fuck were we talking about at the beginning?
We're talking about dinner.
Yeah. And it was just like, but we, when we get those moments where there's just kind of, each thing is, what's that game where you drop the ball at the top and it hits the pins?
The Plinko or whatever.
Yeah, Plinko, and it just goes in random directions. Our conversations are like that. They're intelligent, they're smart, but they just go random directions. And like I love those moments. I live for those moments. It's just that's where the mind really gets um, massaged.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Adam's sitting there going, "Yeah, me and my wife, we do the same thing. We just like talk and it just goes right out the window. I don't know don't know how we ended up here.
That's more conversations with Albert.
Well, that is going to happen with a. How old is he
Yep.
now?
It's coming up to 5.
Oh wow.
Coming up to 5. Yep, next month.
Oh,
Dinosaur
all the-
party.
All the good conversations are in your future.
Oh yes. Yep.
Yes. Between
Oh,
5
yes.
and 8, all the uncomfortable and bizarre questions will come up.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
I'll
hey-
get myself ready for them.
So he's turning 5, which means obviously he's already in charge of the house. Like, what do you get? What's the big gift? Like, is that like something? I know you guys aren't like super materialistic or nothing, but like, is there like a big gift for like age 5? I won't ever have kids, so I have to live through you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't really planned for that. I mean, like I guess a bike, and there's a few other things, I guess, for certain ages and stuff. We haven't really thought about that. I'm sure the wifey is listening, but yeah, maybe not so much for 5. There's because he gets into something hardcore, and then in 3 weeks
Let's
time
go.
it's changed. So it's yeah, I haven't really thought about that, to be completely honest. I mean, his first year of school is next year, so that will be enough change for him in the process. Oh, but he's also starting. We have in Australia here called Auskick, and it's basically the introduction to probably one of our national sports, Aussie rules football. He'll be starting Auskick in the next couple of weeks, so that will be a whole nother learning experience for him as well. I guess a team sport when you're a kid, getting into your first team sport is a fairly steep learning curve. So yeah, there'll be a fair bit of change going on for him as a young little man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Reminds me of my childhood. I got a Playboy poster when I was 5.
Yeah.
My older brother was not the greatest.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and kill the X1s. We'll toss them in the randomizer here in a minute. And then while we're here, Steve, what was your favorite childhood toy you got, man?
Holy crap. That's a weird question.
I know you guys had like Lincoln Logs and sticks and hoops back then, but
Honestly, ColecoVision would be the only thing that really stands out. We we were moving back to Canada from Scotland, and we stayed at my aunt's for 2 weeks, and she had an Atari. And when we were in Scotland, I wanted a game machine, and my mom was like, no, 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 no. And then when we stayed at my aunt's, what she did was my aunt played. She had an Atari, and so my mom was playing like these really archaic old games, right? And they'd sit and have a sherry at night, and they'd play games. And so as soon as we got to where we're going, my mom was like, "Okay, we got to get a game. That's what we just got to get a game." I'm like, "Yay, we're gonna get a game!" She bought an Atari 2600, and it lasted about 3 days before she saw the ColecoVision. She's like, "No, that's the one we got to get." And we went and swapped it out. We returned it, and yeah, it was kind of my job for like the next 2 years. She put money in my hand, and she put the video card in my hand. She'd go to the video store, rent some games.
yeah.
It's like and then you give like 3-day or all weekend rentals, and we'd go and we'd rent games. I'd come home with 4 new games, and we'd just sit and play. And my mom's favorite game, I can't even remember what it's called. It was this thing where you played a penguin, and you were skating on ice going forward, and you had to jump things and bypass things, and it's literally all you did. Just go forward and jump and skate around things, and it would just slowly get faster, but not much, so you could go forever. But until your hands got tired, you got bored, or you needed to smoke, and yeah, but yeah.
You brought it up just now, and it reminded me of fucking being able to go and rent games and movies.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, like that's something that like I know everyone's like, oh, like kids born in like 10 years ago won't know what it's like without a cell phone, but no one really know like what it was like to go hit like a Blockbuster on a Friday night with like $20 in your hand, and you get like 2 bags of popcorn and some as we were saying, hot tamales earlier, and then go rent like the newest what is it, like back then, a Pierce Brosnan 007?
Kids
So
will
you guys
never
were
know.
doing it. You guys were doing it wrong because you could never return the games because they were always so late. So you had to face the late fees.
You end up paying $75 for like a Tomb Raider on PlayStation because he had the pointy
Yep.
games.
Kids
it.
today will never know what it's like to have a game that you couldn't save.
Oh,
It just goes until you can't play anymore, and then you die. That's it. That's just done. Start from the beginning.
Yeah.
No save points. No working. Like I swear, if you took away save points from modern games, no one would ever finish them.
oh no,
You just couldn't.
I would hate it. So let's go ahead and toss these in the randomizer and see who won. Let me refresh that.
Dave Advocacy says she had a Commodore 64, but did you have the tape deck?
Ooh.
Because
Did they not? Did they ever? Yeah. Did they ever not have a tape deck?
Well, the tape deck was an extra purchase.
It was like an add-on.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of friends I had in high school, and you'd go to their house and it's sitting there on their desk. It's a Commodore 64 and a magazine propped open, and they're just like frantically typing away. Give me 20 minutes and we can play this.
Wow, I haven't thought about that in a long time. Oh, yes.
Or when you get a $5 fee for not rewinding your VHS.
Oh.
All right, Adam,
Yep.
choose a number between 1 and 1,202.
872.
872. It's always lost.
Oh,
So always lost. Hold on, I was saving this for the winner. Steve does not like this. At least it didn't seem like he did. So every time we have a winner now, we're gonna announce the winner is always lost. Ding 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 ding.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Always Lost is one of my favorite people in the entire vape world, and she's an absolute sweetie. And she has a tiny little friend in her house. He's about this big, and he's called Legion Junior.
Legion Junior.
Wait, what is it? Now I have to know because I want to know what your animal is. I was thinking maybe a horny toad or like
Are you comparing me to a horny toad?
because I could see it.
That would be an awesome, excellent, very accurate comparison.
Because I could see if you did your beard and you got the pomade or whatever and you did little spikes with it, you could be like the upside down horny toad and you do that weird art where it's like 4 girls standing there, but it's a skull, but really it's Legion's butthole. You need the gel,
No,
man.
not doing that. Not doing. I was willing to play with the beard, but I'm not showing you my butthole.
Just go like this with your lips. It's the same. No. All right. So, always lost. Make sure you send us your info at the Amigos & Co. on Instagram or on our Facebook because I believe you're on either one. Or you can send it to my Instagram or Facebook and we'll get that sent out to you. And, it's the Asmodeus cooling cloth. You're not going to need it yet, but summer comes around, you will. And this Desire Design X Mini. It's 21700. It doesn't come with the sleeve. I got it at Goodwill. So,
nice.
there you
Amazing.
go. But yeah. So that's the winner for this week. They were coming down last minute actually. So go ahead, guys, spill what you got, and then we'll close it out for these folks.
Adam?
You can go. Yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in again. Always very, very appreciative of you giving up your time to come and hang out and talk stuff with us. I'll do the normal shill. Local vape in the US. Plenty of stores now. There's Rising Phoenix Vapory. There's also Steel Valley Vapors. A new one is lucidrda.com. Tenacious TX Vapes. Mr. Stan has been very generous to list the coils on his site now. So there's another avenue for online purchasing. There's a bunch of fine brick and mortar stores in the US that now carry my coils. So very, very appreciative of the support. In Australia, it's victoryvape.com.au. The lovely people down there have listed my coils for Australia. Very appreciative of everyone hanging out. So, thanks for giving up your time to hang out with us.
Yeah. What you got, Steve?
And I guess I'll jump in with my my massive list of things coming up. Tomorrow, of course, all times, of course, being Australian times. If you're in the US, I'm sorry. Figure it out, guys. You'll get there in the right moment. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What am I saying? Oh yeah, tomorrow have a coffee with Legion Vapes. It's my morning chat thing on my channel where we talk about. Well, it's supposed to be we can talk about anything. Like I said, it always seems to come back to vape, but you're happy to come in and talk about books, movies, comics, politics, buttholes, whatever you want. We'll figure a way. Actually, no, save the buttholes for this channel. On Friday, I have Ion Vaping, which is my misbegotten attempts to understand advocacy, politics, bans, science, anything vaping related, what's going on in the world. On Sunday, we have the Aussie Vape Show, which is me, Squidly Triss from Friday Vape Club. It is Dave Kudrev from All Day Vapes, and it is a guest. Haven't nailed down this week's guest. I'm still working on that, but yeah, that's Sunday night. As far as reviews, nothing scheduled for this week. We're hitting a dip again, but more things should be coming in soon. So fingers crossed for that. And that brings us back to next week right here. Additionally, there is a Aussie Vape Facebook page. If you're into the Aussie Vape Show, go check that out. There is the Amigos & Co. Facebook page, which Chris just dropped the link in the chat for that. Definitely go check that out. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm done. I'm done, guys.
Awesome.
Up to you guys.
Awesome.
All right, sorry, I just got distracted by the fucking the Scream deck. Yeah. So make sure you guys check out Legion on his stuff. Make sure you guys check out Adam's Coils. They're everywhere now. They're fucking everywhere. They're everywhere. Pretty soon you're gonna see the Indonesian tricking kids doing the videos with it. So, you know.
Whoa! Wait. They're not everywhere. Adam, is it time for me to start pressuring you for UK distribution? We have learned that Adam doesn't do stuff unless I push him constantly for 6 months.
Actually,
No.
I can get you in. I got something. All right, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that comes in. But yeah.
Like, no, I don't want to make more calls.
Oh, I do. I absolutely do.
I'm
All the
changed
time.
to my drill.
But yeah, so that's all good stuff. I forgot what we were talking about. Oh yeah, Adam stuff. Make sure you check out Amigos on us on Mondays. I will be back Friday for Friday Fallout with Glenn and Cody, and I'm going to be just basically putting gifts up the whole time. Don't expect anything good. So anyways, that's it. We love you guys. Make sure you guys send me, or Always Lost, you send me your info. It's good to see you here again. Everyone else, I saw a couple new faces. We love you. We just love you, okay? We're not going to go and get a pack of smokes and be back in 18 years. We're going to be here every Monday. So, yeah, that's it. All right, bye, guys.